So I was laughing. I was thinking to myself, boys and booze, right? What do they have in common? Well, narcissistic lovers. What do narcissistic lovers have in common? Wow. They have the empty allure of false promises. Short-term promises to just, pump you up, love you, deal with every stress of life, fill you with your need. But then long-term, you're just getting more problems, more consequences. Anyway, so I was laughing to myself and I was thinking, because that is my hill to stand on, the one that I am so passionate about. You can put the behavior down for anything that you want. You absolutely can. There's willpower, though it's a finite muscle, though it will run out. You can do it, but are you gonna be happy while you do it? Are you gonna be white knuckling it? Are you gonna be miserable? Are you gonna be crawling out of your skin? Are you gonna be overcoming in cravings and oh my God, why did I make this choice? This is disastrous and this is terrible and I never, ever, ever wanna feel like this. Yeah, so I did that. I did it and I did it for years. So what did I eventually do? I picked it back up because the behavior was still satisfying. It was still itching something that I had. I still found value in it. So of course I picked it back up. The turning point, same with the narcissist lover. I mean, you can get rid of them, right? You can say, oh, I'm done. I'm going to block you and I'm never ever going to talk to you again. And then you sit home and you're miserably crying and oh my gosh, but I remember the wonderful times. Even though you were gaslighted and, maybe had a few bruises and it was terrible, but you're oh, but I remember how wonderful it is. Sometimes that's what I mean by the narcissistic lover of alcohol. That's what it does to you. So I was comparing it and I was laughing to myself and I was thinking, well, this example here, I just grabbed something because I needed an example. We dump it out. I'm gonna dump this jar out. Oh, it's got all kinds of little things. It even has a hair in it. Okay, so I dumped it out, right? So that's when we get rid of the behavior. Great. Now I have this glass jar. I have this empty glass jar. So it's still sitting there. It's still hanging out. Ooh, look, it catches some fuzz and it's got a little stuff on it, but it's just sitting there. Anytime you put a glass jar on the table, have you ever noticed what happens? You intend for it to be a candy jar or something, but then all of a sudden everybody's I'm gonna drop my sunglasses there. There's some extra change. I'm gonna throw it in there. So you just start randomly putting things in the jar that's on the table, that you might not even ever consider before because it's empty. Right? So then all of a sudden we have this glass jar that I was ooh, it's empty of everything. And now I can put it on there and make it a beautiful candy dish. But I didn't intentionally do anything with it. So next thing I know, it's just full of everything and it's lost its intention. That's what we do when we just focus on the behavior of alcohol. We can put it down. We can rid the substance. We can get rid of it. Just like that narcissistic lover, we can block them. We can say, nope, done on social media. Nope, I'm never ever talking to you again. But we still have a place of emptiness. We still have, if you're at home crying over somebody, then you still see a value in it. And I do not want people to live like that, especially with alcohol. The whole point and purpose is to change your relationship with alcohol, to change it. Like this glass jar, right? If we see it and it's empty, we're oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I'm gonna clean this up. I could go in the kitchen and get some spray and totally make it beautiful. But what would I want to put in it? What would I want to fill this jar with so that when it sits on the glass table, nobody ever thinks that it's a good idea to put keys in it. Nobody ever thinks it's a good idea to just throw paper clips in it. I don't want to have a catch-all of crap for this beautiful jar. And that's what we are. We are beautiful, beautiful, intentional beings. And we are three-part beings. And we are meant to fill ourselves up with all kinds of wonderful things. What we need, though, is we need intention and we need purpose. And so I think that's the best part of changing my relationship with alcohol is no longer just looking at it as something I got to white knuckle and get through. It's not something I'm oh, dear God, I just have to get rid of it because it's toxic. No, I want a beautiful glass jar. I want a beautiful, intentional relationship with myself and everything around me. I want that glass jar to be clear and shined up, which is the same thing with our values and our intention and everything that we do. We want it to be that beautiful thing that holds everything about us, our essence, our spirit, our soul, all of that that's encompassed in our mind, our will, our emotions. We are intentional. And so that's my favorite part. That's my favorite part about changing our relationship with alcohol is not just putting the substance down, not just focusing on the behavior, but when we take the crap out of it, what do we want to put in? What do we want to focus forward on? What, like our life, do we want to go after? Because we get to build that. We get to build a life that we want and not escape from. That's the game changer. That's the key. That's what we focus on. That's what I want you to be doing when you are living out loud life. I want you to do it on purpose and with intention, and I want you to fill it with all of the most wonderful things that you want to transparently, to nakedly look through and go, that's it. That's what I wanted. That's my intention. And I want to help you build that. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. Always, direct messages, follow the tips, follow everything that we do on it. And I am encouraging you to live out loud your life to the fullest. I want you to be you in Him. You were created on purpose with intention. You are the workmanship of the Lord. And I am excited to see you walking forward in that, living out loud life to your fullest potential as you were meant to be. Have a happy, happy day.